All right. Hey, Coach. My first question for you, just like, a day's gone by, just how's Gino doing and what are your expectations for him, his practice availability this week?
Yeah, I won't know for a couple days till Wednesday to see what happens. How sore he is. I can't tell you.
Hey, Pete, just wondering what went into your decision to kick the field goal? Do you think you had time left on the clock afterward?
Well, if you notice, I was battling with the official, making a plea for because we saw 8 seconds, seven, which would have given us a chance to kick the field goal, kick an onside kick, and maybe have a second left. And then when it went down to five or went down to three or whatever they did, and then they put it back to five or whatever, then I knew it was going to look stupid. Like you couldn't figure out why we were doing it. So, but one, it was eight, and I was trying to get it to 10. I was talking 10, with the guy trying to get it back up. And I thought I'd had a chance to plea it and plead it, and they might give me a shot. And so that was just competing all as well it was. And but fans couldn't understand. Like you're asking the question, but there was a real clear thought what we were trying to get done there, just to take it down to the very last click.
Hey Pete, I know
That might
Darren.
not be good enough for you. I understand that, but that's what I think you could see what we were trying to do, but it just didn't work out.
Hey Pete, I know Darian Porter was a player you were very excited about back in training camp, and he was matched up one-on-one a number of times with Cortland Sutton,
Hmm.
and it seemed to get better as the game went on. He had his first two pass deflections of his career. Are you seeing him start to tap into that potential that had you excited about him coming into the league?
Yeah, I thought this was his best game. Even the back shoulder throw. I mean, he played it perfectly. He was a fraction of an inch from getting his hand in the pocket and knocked that ball out too. He challenged the heck out of it, and I thought he played a really nice game. And that's it. It's he's been working at it. He's really clean technique wise. He's a real product of our system. I'm really fired up about that because he looked really good the other night, yesterday.
Hey, Pete, a couple of other young players. Jack Besh, I think he got a season high snaps and catches and yards and all that. But also Caleb Rogers. If you could talk about the development of those two young players.
Yeah, Jack had a good solid game. And it's funny how it goes. He had a really good week, and we highlighted him in one-on-one situations during the week to see how he would do, and he showed up really well. And so the fact that he came through and played well in the game, it just kind of goes along with it. So really happy for him, and he's a tough dude, and we like him on the field out there. Caleb made it through the game, played the whole game, and that's a success in itself, and that he was able to hold up against those guys. It's a terrific rush and from them, and he played okay, and he'll get way better because of it. His confidence will be there, and he'll feel comfortable.
Couple questions, Pete. First, Caillou Blue Kelly, what's the latest on him?
Yeah, yeah, he had a patellar tendon injury in the game. I think somebody reported that out there, so I don't mind saying it. And we'll see, the severity of it and all. But that's a difficult injury right off the bat, and we'll see how it goes and see what has to take place, to get him right. I'm not sure about that part of it yet, but that is what happened. And you notice it was an open field too. It was just a freak accident that just shouldn't happen. You didn't see his buckle or anything. It was just he just planted, and sometimes that happens.
And kind of going back to the kick, this legalized sports betting everywhere now. There seems to be extra attention paid to it. What's your take on just how everything's magnified now?
Well, it ain't just now. There was a time back in New England when I think we were playing the Bills, and we scored on the last play of the game. No, check this out. There was a Hail Mary play that they called pass interference on the defense and gave us a chance at the 1 yard line to throw it, to score, to win the game. And we threw a touchdown pass to Ben Coates in the corner of the end zone, and they disputed the call so much that they left the field. And the rules are you have to kick the extra point. And so we eventually get our guys on the field to kick the extra point, and we go out there and to line up kicking. I told the kicker, I said, "There's nobody on the field. You can't be the one guy that misses the extra point with nobody out there. So just catch it and run it in." So he did, and there was if I remember right, I don't know how accurate this is, but there was a real uproar because the 1 point made a difference in the line and all that stuff. And so I got hammered for that. And I never really recovered from a bunch of people for that thing, but that call. But at the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. And so that was happening back then. So if that's kind of up again and it messed with I wouldn't even know what the differential was, but that wasn't that was not in our minds. Our minds was to see if we could have a chance to win the game on the last second. So
Hey, earlier you were talking about guys like Jack and Caleb and how they play, and add Darren into that. Obviously, you've been very vocal about how younger players need to earn their reps in practice. Have you noticed any differences in how they practice or the intensity in terms of just being acclimated, and how has it translated onto the field?
yeah, let me give you an example of that. That's a good question. Not in any of those guys we talked about. Those guys have been close enough the whole time about battling. But I know that Shedrick, we told him Wednesday or whatever it was that he had a chance to play, and I was really fired up for him to to be able to tell him that and get him because he knew that he was getting some rest, but he didn't hear it from me yet, and you could just tell the uplift that happened, and I heard about his work in the weight room even lifted, and so it does make a difference, particularly late, and when guys kind of might cancel themselves out somewhat and think, oh, I'm not going to get a shot, and he really rose to the occasion and had a really impressive week of practice, and so we weren't hesitant to go to him or give him a chance, and that was really one of the favorite stories in the game for it just gives other guys hope as well, and you keep hope alive, and that's why young guys playing it can be a real boost to your season and certainly for them, but for other people as well. So I was really happy for him.
Go, Vinny.
Pete, going back to the reaction maybe from when you kicked that field goal, if I don't know to what extent you see any of this, but there were some some crazy things that were said out there by some well-known people actually on the internet and Twitter and all that good stuff. How do you deal with that, knowing that might happen, and what do you think it speaks to about nowadays that people have that kind of platform to be able to come out as vocally and as crazy as they did?
Yeah, I like this question, and with all due respect, the media is as available and apparent as it's ever been. Obviously, this is the height of it of all time, and so that means that there's a lot of opportunities for people to have chances to, post their opinions and their feelings and whatever. And that's real. That's the real deal. If after all of these years of leading the program and all that, if I succumb to reacting to that, I would not be doing my best job that I can put forth to coach, because that factor is a factor to some people, but it isn't to me. And I have to be rock solid on that. I can't bend and twist and go with whatever the public sentiment is, or one person's sentiment for that matter, regardless of who it is. I just can't do that and do my job the right way to the best of my ability. So personally, I can't sway based on that, and so I don't, and I'm good at that. And I mean, just look at some of the examples over the years, and what I've had to deal with personally. There's been a lot of opportunities with this many games. Things are going to pop up and come up, and they do. And I can't say that everybody can do that. I think it's a skill that you have to work on and you have to get good at, because you have to make the choices for what's right for the game, for the player, for the opportunity that's at hand, not for what the sentiment is on the outside. And in essence, they just can't do that. And so whether people care about that or they think, oh, that's being cold or that's being naive or whatever, they don't get it. You have to, in that regard, you have to call the game like you got to call the game. And I gave you the absolute truthful explanation of what happened, but some people they won't buy that, and they'll do whatever they want with it. So I can't do anything about that. But it's a skill that I know head coaches in all sports have to work hard at, and it's hard on owners, and it's hard on GMs, and it's hard on people in the administration. It's certainly hard on fans, and I get that, and that's just part of what's going on in this day and age, and it is much different than it used to be, but it's always been there.
Hey, Pete, can you just talk about the impact that Caillou has made on the team and how big of a loss that is?
Yeah, a significant loss because he's been such a good story for us. He really came out of nowhere in camp and was kind of knocking around different positions and all that. And like I think I probably said it last night, that there was a point in there where you couldn't ignore the fact that he was making things happen in practice and even in preseason, and you could just see it happening. And what showed up is his natural football ability, his just natural instincts, because he's a tackler, he's an interceptor, he's a playmaker, and he's aggressive and he's smart, and all those things along with it. And it just, with given enough time, it didn't matter who he was going against. He was showing that he needed a better look, So remember, I think was it the last game of preseason or something like that we started him, I think, for the first time. It took all of that off-season time and all the way through camp to get to that point. But that was the statement that I was making, that he deserved to get a chance, And I think he's had an excellent season, and it's hard because every corner gets beat some, and when it's happening on one side, not on the other, it looks even kind of amplified because E. Stokes has had a terrific season on the other side, but I think the 3 picks that he's made, the big tackles that he's made, the big hits that he's made, and the enthusiasm, the excitement that he brings is really positive, and so we're going to miss the heck out of him, and the team will as well. And it's just a good story, and he's also had such a lousy shot shooting hoops in the meetings that he also had a little designation and distinction for himself in that regard too. So he's been a really fun guy to be a part of the team, and we're going to miss the heck out of him.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, see ya.